Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. I've had a hard day at the hospital, being in the COVID ICU in fact today. It's been a tough day, a lot of scary things have been happening there, but now I'm home, now it's time to play some EVE Online. And to my pleasant surprise, I see that a new quadrant is on the way. Now what are quadrants then in EVE Online? Well, a quadrant is basically every fourth of a year or every quarter of a year, there's a new theme of updates going on. So now we've got the second quadrant going on of 2021. That is the Foundation Quadrant. Now, the Foundation Quadrant is a bit different from all the previous quadrants because the thing is, this quadrant now is focused, you can say in short, like this, I summarize it with one sentence. It's focusing basically on the different empires of EVE Online. That's how it's focusing on developing their story, so to say. And for the last 3 years, or this summer then, it'll be 3 years, we've basically only been having Triglavian and Abyssal stuff. Ever since the summer of 2018, we've had the whole Triglavian arc, the Triglavian story arc with the development of the Abyss, the development of the Triglavian invasion, and then on top of that, the different stages of the invasion to finally eclipse or finalize with the formation of Portven. And it was a pretty epic story arc in my opinion. But I'm very looking forward to this new chapter of events that are going to occur in EVE Online because it's been a lot of Triglavian stuff, and I feel like after 3 years it's nice with a little bit of a change of pace. And the first change of pace I noticed straight away when logging in right here is the interior of the station of Jita, my home station. I base out of here, and if we take a closer look we can even see maybe some special looking transports going on in the background. You see that? Look, some interesting looking transports. I don't think they exist as normal ships. Maybe they are. But this thing looks epic. Like, look at this. Oh, is that the exterior? I think that's the exterior actually. Look at that. Looks like the exterior of the station. Go outside there. Is that? I think that is, or maybe it's inside. I don't know. But it looks really massive. It looks epic. The size of the hangar, they make it look really big. And I think that's very suited for a station as massive as the G4 Caldari Navy Assembly Plant. The most populated station, I would say, or at least one of the most populated stations in EVE Online. There's thousands of players always in here, where a lot of trade goes on. It really is fitting to have an epic interior like this. I also appreciate it a lot because, like, look at that. Where's that? You see that special kind of ship right there? I've never seen it. I think it looks a bit like a Stratios, but it's not. You see that one over there? But I really appreciate this a lot because I base out of here, so being able to wake up at Eve to a very fancy looking station is much appreciated from my part. But let's get into the Foundation then. But before we get into the Foundation, something very important is going to be announced, namely the latest skin giveaway winners. So if we go here into my notepad, we've got 3 winners for some Mauler Scope Syndication skins. So Zephyr Ricky, Cubic MC, and Ibad Tijori. You guys are all gonna get your very own Mauler Scope Syndication skin. So keep an eye on your contracts. You can fly in style, or if you don't want to fly in style, you can sell it or keep it as an investment to earn some dankies. But if we go over to the news post here of the new quadrant, or the announcement of the new quadrant, they've still not finalized the very final details here. And I feel like it's going to be the similar way the Triglavian quadrant was released. Like, they're going to be progressively, slowly releasing updates the same way with the invasion, where we had different stages, you know. And I feel like that's going to be the same way here. So they don't want to spoil it all at once. But I'm very happy for this because I feel like all the empires have been completely neglected in the last 3 years of EVE Online. So I think this is very fitting. But basically how this is going to start is we've got something called Capsuleer Day coming up. 18 years of EVE Online. EVE Online has officially become an adult. 18 years old. This summer then is going to have the Capsuleer Day, which basically celebrates the birthday of, quote-unquote, birthday of EVE Online. So now it's the 18th one. And I've only participated in this event once before, and it was when we had a Drifter Cruiser invasion. It was a pretty interesting Drifter boss you had to kill because it was very hard to capture. I think it was called Hypnos Tyrannos. It was extremely fast, so it had a pretty unique aspect to it that you had to kind of tackle it to be able to kill it. But otherwise, I'm very curious to see what they come up with for this Capsuleer Day event. Probably it's going to be completely different from a Drift event. Who knows? We'll see. But I've only participated in one of them. I hope we get some good loot. I always look forward to these events, getting some dank loot and maybe even some interesting spicy PvP events. I often see in these events like people getting blown up. It's just fun to see where you go there PvEing and then you see some guy go flashy yellow and then someone attacks them and then a little brawl just lights out there in the middle of nowhere. It's fun to watch them. I'm not usually the one participating in them, but it definitely is fun to spectate them none the least. Then after that is going to be the main meat of this kind of new theme of updates that are going to come up. So here we're going to get a series of in-game events focused on celebrating the 4 main empires throughout the quadrant. So this is something I'm really looking forward to, and I can imagine 2 things. Now this is my speculation of what's going to happen here, because as I said before, they've not released the fine details, but what they are going to what I do think is going to be like is either going to be a development of factional warfare, because factional warfare is something that used to be, I feel like it used to be a lot more popular than it was nowadays, but it's not really being given that much attention from the devs, and it has definitely some good concepts right there where you choose a side and fight. Me personally, I would have engaged a lot more in factional warfare if it didn't require you to join a corp, because I don't want to just leave corp just to be able to participate in these kind of factional warfare things. I wish it was a separate thing, and also I don't like getting blown up in the enemy systems or Empire's enemy systems. I don't like that either. But I think there's maybe going to be a development of factional warfare. Maybe they're going to spice things up over here. If it's not factional warfare, I think that it will probably just be like something like the invasion, where you have, these different kinds of events striking out that sort of reflect different conflicts between the empire. So maybe it'll be like how before we had, Edencom, Triglavians, and you'd sort of fight for one side, and depending on that, it maybe conquers a system. Something that I think that would be really interesting will be if they made it so that like different systems are like taken over by a different empire. Maybe it switches up the agents, maybe it switches up the stations, like changes the architecture of a system. That would be really cool. The same way, the Pochven whole Triglavian invasion thing switched up the geography of New Eden, but maybe here on a little bit smaller scale, getting stuff a little bit more vibrant in the universe of EVE Online that's been static for a really long time. This is all sort of started out actually last week, or at least what I suspected is, because we've had some small sort of events, or not small, quite big, because it's been a sort of a capital operation right here. Some dreadnoughts then have been attacking different planets. So here we have a picture of some Minmatar dreadnoughts. They were attacking the planet of Tanu 2, bombarding the planet. Lots of the people probably got killed. I don't know if they were just attacking civilian places or they were attacking the geography just to prove a statement. But there's been some big capital proliferation on the NPC side of things going on in Empire space, and this has then been met with then resistance. Then they've been destroyed, as you can see here. This Naglfire has been destroyed, and it's not only the Minmatar, it's also the Amar, I believe, and also Caldari that have been deploying like capital ships attacking planets. This is something that I find to be pretty interesting, because this is sort of like, I feel like this is the lead up to the main events that are going to go on with the Quadrant. This is my suspicion. I mean, I hope it doesn't disappoint, but I like the idea that we're now getting stuff going on with the empires of EVE Online, because like the empires, they've really not been touched, it feels like. Something that I look forward to is that we get some kind of new L4 missions, because the L4 missions then in HiSec, they are given, out by the empires. So I hope they release some new agents. Maybe we will get some new agents, some special kind of agents that are maybe exclusively for attacking the other faction. We'll see about that. But I definitely feel like the L4 side of missions can be spiced up a lot. Maybe not removing the existing ones, because they're pretty, I think they're quite of a classic thing that they've always been there. But I definitely think they should add more. That'll be very much appreciated in my opinion, because they've pretty much been the same for many years. Ever since I started EVE Online, they've been the same. They continue to talk about the industry update right here. I'm not a big fan of that, because I'm not really an industrialist myself, so I really don't care about that. The thing I do care about, though, is that as a result of this, it has made the prices of ships go up by a massive degree. I'm not a big fan of that, and I hope the CCP makes some changes to make them tone down a little bit the prices, because, I mean, battleships cost what pirate battleships used to cost a long time ago. Many people say it's a good thing, but I think that probably one of the things needed most, like nerfing, were the capitals, and those were definitely enough. They got their prices reduced to make them feel a bit more special, because I see all these videos of people just spamming Titans all over the place. But who am I to say about the price of Titans, because I can't even fly one. But I'm just a bit annoyed that the prices of battleships are pretty damn expensive, especially the Tech 1 variants. It feels like it affects them more because it's mainly the material cost, I feel like, that's affected. So you see like the Tech 1s that their cost relies mainly on the material costs. They're like going up by quite a bit, doubled in price, basically, the battleships. And then they go on to talking about something about Pochven. This is something that I have just been like, come on, finally. Okay, so here we've got the map of Pochven. Now, this is a website called Kaibnot.space, a very good website if you want to read up on everything and all about Triglavians. We can see here, we can go around in the Pochven triangle right here, and then there's home systems, right? There's home systems. So there's Archie, Niaja, and Kino. They're home systems. And now what they're going to do is, before you needed to have good standings with the Triglavians to be able to just go through one gate like this. But now it doesn't matter. You don't need any standings. You can go through all of these except the home systems. So I think that's good, because now you can pretty much roam the whole of Pochven without having to go to these, with the exception of being able to not able to go to these home systems. Otherwise, you can go here, do activities in here, and I think that'll be very interesting, because I've never really done anything interesting in Pochven, because I've just thought that, I'm just going to be stuck in one system, and I've never really been bothered to have to be able to, grind these standings. So I just never really have had the interest to be able to go here. But now it definitely seems a lot more accessible, at least. So I wouldn't be surprised if I did not go there in the future. Maybe do some kind of sneaky mining. I've heard they've got some good mining going on there. Maybe some gas mining even. Or maybe ratting. We'll see. But I never really liked the idea of being able to be locked to a certain system. I've not been a fan of that. I do not like that. In fact, I preferably would have liked to be able to go to even these systems, but I mean, you can't have everything, I guess. So that is it. We're going to have an update to Pochven as well, a lot more accessible. I've been just waiting forever to that, because I hated the fact that I have to do these stupid standings to be able to go to these systems. And people who were on the Edencom side in the Triglavian invasion, they really didn't get anything. I mean, what did you get? Being able to mine in this Edencom system. I mean, who cares about that, really, seriously? And then, obviously, a very important, not very important, but they've redone Aura a little bit, made her have a bit more 3D appearance. I'm not really a big fan of this appearance. I like the classical Aura look that was a bit more 2D. This feels a little bit creepy, in my opinion. But there you have it. You have Aura updated too. So there we go. We've got the new Quadrant Foundation focusing on the empires of New Eden. It'll be really interesting to see how the events develop. I'm looking forward to this. Really, I hope it doesn't disappoint. But I really love the fact that we are shifting focus from Triglavians and Abyss. I really like Abyss though, but still, it's going to be a nice change of pace, shifting the focus to the empires that really feel, in my opinion, like they've been neglected for a long time. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video right here. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.